Hey everyone, how you doing? I've got another wee build video here for you today. Just another wee PvP build that I've put together. So let's get into it. So what I'm looking to do here is get as much armour and health as possible within the build with the resources that I do have available for the expertise system, and get as much damage out of the build as possible as well. So what I've opted for is the firewall specialisation, just due to the medkit being the best in the game for PvP. Um, from that gives you 200% health and armour over a 10-second period, so it is really good on there. So starting off with the weapons, we have got the FAMAS 2010. I've got this expertise up to 24, so depending what your expertise level is for the dark zone and stuff like that, and the items that you use will depend on the damage numbers that you're going to see. So the assault rifle damage I've got it at 15%, health damage at 21%, and I've got damage to target or cover. I've opted for Optimist on here, so weapon damage is increased by 3% for every 10% ammo missing from the magazine. With the 900 RPM on there and 50 bullets in the mag, it does get to the end of the mag very quickly, so you are getting to that maximum amount of damage from Optimist on there very quick rate. Now, for the secondary here, I have opted for the M870 Express. That's coming with 12% expertise and 15% shotgun damage, 12% damage to armour, and 10% damage to target out of cover. I also have opted for Optimist on here as well, just due to the fact that it's only got 5 bullets in the mag, so getting to that maximum amount of damage is relatively quick, even though it's got a slow RPM. Is hitting for quite a large base damage, as you can see on there, 1.7 million, and with the 12% damage to armour, it is quite handy for taking chunks of armour off these really tanky builds that you can come across in PvP. Now, bearing in mind, if you are going to be using any builds in conflict, the expertise does not come into it at all. Everybody's expertise is taken off, so it's a level playing field in conflict, but in the dark zone it is different. Now, obviously from there, I've just opted for the Regulus, just because the explosion damage is dealing 400% weapon damage. The bleed I'm not really worried about. The bleed doesn't last for too long, to be honest, on there. It is a 5 meter explosion radius as well, so if you do have players kind of grouped up and stuff, you've maybe taken quite a chunk of armour and stuff like that off them. They're trying to run away and pop that med kit whilst they're in the animation. You can switch to the regular, shoot them in the head, obviously get the explosion damage and stuff as well. And if there's any players within the vicinity, it's going to hurt them bad with 400% weapon damage too. So it's pretty decent on there. If they have got hazard protection, it's quite high. The bleed may not apply to them at all, or it might only last for a shorter period, depending on the amount of hazard protection they have on their build. Um, so building this around health and armor, what I've opted to do is use the Ninja Bike messenger bag in order to do this. Now, I wouldn't be able to do this without the Ninja Bike messenger bag, and I do understand that it only equips another brand set bonus, depending up to 3 brand set bonuses. So if you've got 2 pieces that are the same brand set, the third piece will apply due to the Ninja Bike. If you've only got 1 piece, the second piece will apply due to the Ninja Bike messenger bag as well. Now, I do understand that you are losing a damage talent, and a lot of people say it's absolutely useless and stuff. Everybody's thing is subject to opinion. I'm not disagreeing that you don't lose a damage talent. I'm not disagreeing that you are losing damage on there. I totally agree with that. I just think it's a nice thing to have in order to be able to make alternative builds instead of your normal meta builds that you see online and you see people discussing. And do know that YouTubers do have um, opinions on this, and I do know that some YouTubers don't mind it, other YouTubers absolutely hate it, think it's an absolutely useful item, but everybody's just playing the game the way they want to play it, so it's all up to yourselves how you want to play. It's just a game at the end of the day. So with the Ninja Bike, it's given me 15% weapon damage, 170,000 armor, 1 skill tier, and I've got this expertise to 12. And the mod that I've opted for is 12% critical hit damage. So starting off, with the mask here, we've got the named chill out mask. You can get this from Countdown, you can get it from Farm and Missions, that's got Gilligard on there, you can get it from named caches, within global events. It's quite easy to come across, to be fair. So, countdown, you might be your best bet just due to the fact that the hunters at the end of the countdown, when you're going to extract, do drop a lot of named items when they are killed within the mission. So, what the Chillet mass does is it gives you an extra mod slot compared to just the one you would get from a normal mass. So, for example, you only got one mod slot here, empty gear mod slot, and you've got two attributes at the bottom. The chill out mass for me came with the 12% critical hit damage, and you will see the wee white circular icon to the right hand side of it. That just means it's been optimized, and that's enabled me to roll the core attribute to 15% weapon damage, which you can see the wee screwdriver with the spanner kind of crossed over. That just means it's been recalibrated. So that's left me the two mod slots underneath to put two 12% critical hit damage mods in there. For the chest piece, I've went for Seska Varoba. One piece brand set bonus is giving me 10% crit chance. Second piece is giving me 10% hazard protection. As I've got the gloves on here as the chest piece, I'm getting the third set brand bonus of plus 90% health. This has since changed since Project Resolve, and this has obviously changed to 90% health. As I've said, this build is built around that. So basically, the chest is giving me 15% weapon damage, expertise 12, 6% crit chance, 12% critical hit damage with a 12% critical hit damage mod, and I've got Unbreakable on there. Now in PvE you will get 95% of your armour back every 60 seconds every time it breaks. In PvP you will only get 50% every 60 seconds. So even at that, getting 50% of your original armour back in PvP after it breaks is great. It does help you a lot. It does catch a lot of people out to think that they're going to kill them just in the one go, but it's not like that at all. A lot of people do run Unbreakable, but a lot of people do opt for having damage talents on there as well. So the ones that do have the damage talents, if they are unfortunate to get shot and the shot's actually connecting with them, then they don't have that as a fallback and a safeguard for them to kind of help them out. Obviously married up with the med kit as well from Firewall does make it very, very good to obviously have that extra wee bit of survivability on there. So the gloves that I've got here is 12% expertise, 15% weapon damage, 6% crit chance, and 12% critical hit damage on there as well. Moving from that on the holster, I have the Palisade Steelworks. Now, having one piece of this gives me 10% armour on kill. It's not really that much, to be fair. You can get a wee bit more armour and kill if you change your specialisation to gunner. But for me, I prefer the Firewall med kit. It has helped me survive a lot more just because of what it does. So on here, because I'm using the Ninja Bike, it's also giving me plus 60% health. Now, the weapon damage is 15%. I've managed to recalibrate that core attribute because it normally comes with a blue because it came with critical hit chance and damage. And as you've seen from the critical hit chance and damage at the bottom, I have optimized these to max to roll the core attribute to a red. Also moving from that, we have went for one piece Aegis. With the Ninja Bike, it gives us a two-piece bonus of 70% health. And that came with critical hit chance, which I've optimized to max, and 15% weapon damage. I am running out of resources fast, so I've not managed to get these up to expertise 12 as of yet. I would really like to get this pushed up to expertise 25 on everything, just to see what the final stats would be. So having the 70% health, the 60% health from Palisade, another 60% health from Gilligard, and 90% health from Seskavro. But it looks as if I've actually got more health than I do have armour. Now I do have one blue core attribute from the Ninja Bike. As I said, I just wanted to get as much damage, as much health and armour on this as possible that I had with the resources that I have. So the skills that I've opted to use is the Scanner Pulse and the Decoy. Now these skills can be subject to change. I can change their Stinger, I can change their Jammer Pulse. Now depending obviously with the Jammer Pulse, if it's anything over skill tier 1 that I get from the Ninja Bike, I'm not going to be able to jam the skills at all. So it's just something to be aware of. Looking at the stats, we have 59 crit chance, 141 crit damage on the FAMAS, 75% headshot, 21% health damage with 28 meter range, 2.2 seconds reload speed time, 10% accuracy to 10% stability just from the watch. And going on to the shotgun, the M870 Express, we've got 54% crit chance, 141% crit damage, 65% headshot, 12% armor damage, 14 meter range, 2.8 seconds reload speed, 30% reload speed bonus, which is from one of the mods on the weapon as well as Keener's watch, 10% accuracy and stability from Keener's watch as well. On the Regulus, we've got 44% crit chance, 141 crit damage, 130% headshot damage, 18 meter range, 1.5 second reload time, and 20% reload speed bonus, 30% accuracy, 10% stability. Now, the accuracies came from the engraved muzzle that's on the weapon as well as Keener's watch as well, and same with the reload speed that's came for the engraved drum that's on the Regulus and Keener's watch as well. So that really kind of wraps it up for the build here. One last thing I can show you here is the armor sitting at 1,017,820, the armor and kills 101,782, and the max health is 1,287,000 max health. That's on the build, and health on kill is 386,100. Health regeneration is not really that high, 6,435. 20% hazard protection on there, and that's just from 10% from Seska for the brand set bonus, and also 10% from Keener's watch as well. Obviously from there it's just going to be a normal kind of DPS build, but it's a wee bit more tanky with the health. I will still work on it and add expertise and stuff onto it and just get this as high as possible, just to obviously see what it's like with having all that extra survivability and just having that damage there. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, anything that you would think you would do differently, anything you think you could actually get more out of the build, you're all welcome. But yeah, peace out, enjoy.